Leonida Keys is one of the most beautiful parts of the huge GTA 6 map Rockstar has created. It is also arguably one of the most interesting and exciting areas on the map. This place is a tropical paradise where life is not flashy, but it's easy. Today, we're going to go over everything we know about Leonida Keys. We will talk about its appearances in trailers, screenshots, the official GTA 6 website description, and the community-made map so we can get a better understanding of where it sits on the map and how it will look in the game. I have already made similar videos about Port Gellhorn, Ambrosia, Grass Rivers, and Mount Calaga. You can watch them if you want, but for now let's focus on Leonida Keys and start with the official description from the GTA 6 website. Gateway to Paradise. The dress code is casual, the bars are loaded. Life in this tropical archipelago isn't flashy, but it's easy. Get your buzz on and pull up a deck chair, but look out, you are right on the doorstep of some of the most beautiful and dangerous waters in all of America. So, as that description implies, Leonida Keys is basically a paradise. However, what is most interesting about this is the phrase about the most beautiful and dangerous waters in all of America. Obviously, from all the screenshots and trailer shots we have seen of this place, it is definitely beautiful, no doubt about that. And what about dangerous? Well, I want to say that in GTA 6 we will have a spear gun, which will probably be used in some mission, most likely an underwater mission. I believe that we will be able to hunt sharks. That is why those waters are dangerous. Sharks are probably the biggest threat. What is even more interesting is the underwater life. It will surely be pretty varied, and there will be underwater treasures and secrets that we will be able to find, just as we had in GTA 5. But this time, expect it to be much better and more interesting. You know, I have to bring up one thing. I'm a big Dexter fan. If you watch the series, you probably know what I'm about to say. GTA 6, with its Florida and Miami inspired setting, is the perfect location for Dexter Easter eggs, especially something like black trash bags full of human remains on the ocean floor. Discoveries like that underwater would surely remind players of Dexter and would be a perfect direct Easter egg to the series. Now let's look at the postcard from the official GTA 6 website. What exactly does it reveal? Obviously, this shot is absolutely beautiful. We see lots of different boats, bigger and smaller ones, including small yachts, jet skis, and a plane. This is actually Key Lantern based on a real-life Key Largo. The place is pretty big, there are lots of houses, even apartment buildings around 5 stories high, and plenty of interesting things. We also have small islands on the left side and even on the right side. I believe it is very possible that some kind of loot or maybe even treasures will be on those islands, so it's worth exploring them. We can also see a few bridges that we'll talk about a bit later. But this place looks amazing, and I think this location alone has so much to explore and do. Life here is just buzzing. Now let's take a look at the trailers, because Leonida Keys actually appeared in both of them and quite a lot in the second one. We will begin with the first one. It appeared only once in trailer 1 in this shot. It looks a lot like the screenshot from trailer 2, and even like the postcard, it feels similar because of the plane. It gives the same vibe, but this place again looks absolutely amazing. The color of the water, the trees, and the small islands all stand out. You can even see a campfire on one of the islands. It looks incredible. Here we can see bigger yachts as well. They are quite large this time. We can see some kind of buildings that I think will probably be able to enter. There is a bridge going towards Vice City and another one that is destroyed, which actually exists in real life. We can see jet skis and lots of different cars. What is interesting is the blimp. In real life it is called Fat Albert, and it is used to monitor drug smuggling, human trafficking, and illegal air or ocean activity, basically to spot planes and boats. Once again, this place looks absolutely amazing. All these islands can be visited and explored. Just imagine those GTA 6 night drives with music from the car radio through the Keys, Vice City, and across the whole map. I think it will be unbelievable. Now let's move to the second trailer, because Leonida Keys appeared many times there, right from the beginning. As you can see, this shot is absolutely amazing. It looks much better than trailer 1, because the graphics were so good, people thought it was CGI, but it actually in-game. It's from the other side of the location we just saw. You can actually see the blimp I was talking about, Fat Albert, over there. There are lots of beautiful buildings, boats, jet skis, sea life, flamingos, birds, and people sitting on the dock. And this place looks huge from this point of view. Then we can see what looks like an ice cream truck or maybe a building that sells ice cream, but I think this is some kind of Easter egg toward the original GTA Vice City, because you could own an ice cream business and drive ice cream truck there. So maybe it is some kind of tribute. Then we can see Brian's Boatworks and Marina, which will be a significant place in the story, and the hangar where many things will happen. Then the next shot is Jason on the roof fixing some leaks. Obviously this will be our safe house, and we will spend quite some time there, especially in the early parts of the game. I'm not sure where or how the beginning of the game will take place, but what I'm most completely sure about is that the first few chapters or the first few hours of the main story will definitely spend in this location, living in this safe house. For one, because we know Jason picks up Lucia from jail and they go back into this exact house, and that is clearly not late game or mid game, it is early in the game. So it basically shows us that this place will be our home at the beginning of the game. We can also see an iguana wearing a golden crown and a red Hawaiian shirt. There are two cars, one on the left Jason is probably repairing, and one on the right is the main car he drives, a Vapid. We can obviously see a basketball hoop, which suggests that we will be able to play basketball in the game. This place feels very beautiful and cozy, just honestly so serene. And then we can see Brian pulling up in his car a Cara 4x4, a beautiful huge truck that looks absolutely amazing. We can get a better look at the other car on the left that I was just talking about. Then we can see a raccoon crawling out of a trash bin over there, which looks like some kind of a random event, and that also looks great. Right here we can see what will be visible from our safe house, basically a driveway, lots of houses, a car driving by, a stop sign, and again this place looks very cozy. By the way, Jason has a boat, and many people speculated that it is actually Michael's boat that was stolen because it looks familiar, but I guess we will find out soon. And here Jason is entering safe house, we can see some interior inside and the bridge over there. Then in the next shot Jason is driving by the houses and one woman recognizes him and greets him, and as you can see he feels good about this, so I think he's pretty well known in this area. Then he does what Brian asked him to do, to gather money from his tenants. That is probably what he is doing here, beating up a clerk in the souvenir store and taking his money. It all happens in Leonida Keys. This shot inside the store looks absolutely amazing. Again, I'm not going to go over all the details because I have already done that like a couple of times, but you can pause the video and look for yourself. Then the next shot is right here in the convenience store. It also happens in Leonida Keys. Jason is walking out of the store with an 8-pack of beer. Again, I am not going to go over all the details, but this place looks very packed and beautiful, and the outside as well looks nice. Then this shot with Lucia, they are on the bed, they're having a good time, and this actually happens in the safe house that Brian gives them and where they live, the one I just showed you. Here Jason and Lucia are drinking, they are in some kind of bar that we will actually get quite a few good looks at a little later. You can obviously see that this place is pretty big, and the place where they're sitting on the dock by the boat is right next to that bar we just saw. Then we get another look at it right here, so we can see a big yacht with a party going on, lots of NPCs on it, and a few small boats and jet skis with the sunset, which looks absolutely stunning. Then here we are at Brian's Boatworks and Marina, in his hangar, as I said when we were talking about the first few shots from trailer 2. It is actually pretty big, as you can see from this point of view. You can obviously see a boat, plane, Brian himself and Jason. Then there is another shot where Lucia is picking up trash. I am not sure where it actually takes place, but I believe it is somewhere in Leonida Keys, and look at this. Lucia is also wearing Brian Boatworks and Marina cap, so we know it is definitely her, though you could tell from the outfit anyway. Then again, this proves my point. Jason and Lucia are inside that safe house. We can get a better look and we can see a terrarium with a snake, a fridge, a room with a bed and a toilet by the door. This place looks pretty cool too. Then that bar where they were drinking beer is shown from the inside. We can get a pretty good look at it and we can see some kind of friend reunion with Jason, Lucia, Cowhampton and two mysterious characters, but they're definitely connected to Jason and Lucia. I made a video about them too, so if you want you can check it out, but this is the bar that I believe we'll be visiting quite often. Then in this shot we can see Brian, his wife Lori and Jason talking. Brian clearly says they got everything on Jason. We do not know who he's talking about exactly, probably the federal agents. But it all happens in the hangar that Brian owns and it takes place in Leonida Keys. Then we can see some type of preparation where Jason and Lucia are getting ready for a heist. They're inside the house and it looks pretty interesting too. Once again in another shot we can see Lucia coming back from her public work. Again it all happens in that safe house. We can get a better look at the terrarium with a snake and a better look at the whole place from inside too. There is some kind of storage area on top. The place looks pretty cool and I really like it. The last shot that takes place in Leonida Keys is here. It happens in Brian's hangar once again. It focuses on Cowhampton. You can see a boat in the background. We can see that in the back there are quite a few workers over there, so the business of Brian is thriving. I really hope I have not missed any more trailer 2 shots that had Leonida Keys in them, but we actually have 2 more shorter videos to talk about. They are small, but they were given separately along with the screenshots on Rockstar's official GTA 6 website. One video video involves Brian Hedder. It all happens again in his hangar. They're seemingly preparing for some kind of mission while Brian is just chilling, sitting on the chair, drinking E-Cola. We can see his wife, Lori, with a gun, getting ready for some action. And another shot that actually takes place in Leonida Keys is the one with Carl Hampton on a boat with a plane flying over him and dropping something. It is obviously drugs. As they work for Brian, most of what they do will be happening in Leonida Keys or around Leonida Keys area, so it's definitely not Port Gellhorn or Vice City. I really wanted to say that we are ready now to look at screenshots, but we have two more artworks to talk about. The first one is Brian Hedder inside his boatworks and marina. You can see lots of different boats stacked up against the walls, and one that has probably been repaired and worked on. What is also interesting is what Brian has on his table. It is a map, very likely of Leonida Keys, with some targets on it. So it's probably some type of a mission Brian is planning for us. You can see some things in grey wrap, which are probably drugs. We can see ammo and Lavazza's beer. This shot looks pretty cool and gives us a bit more understanding of what will be happening in this area. And the last one is Carl Hampton. Once again, it takes place in none other than Leonida Keys. We can see a plane in the back, a boat, some kind of yacht, a bridge, and Carl drinking Patriot beer while sitting on the boat. Again, it takes place somewhere in Leonida Keys and it shows us what Carl Hampton will look like. Now, we are finally done with all this extra stuff and we get to the main part, which is screenshots. Right here, this shot looks a lot like the shot from trailer 1, but it's different actually and takes place in another area. Once again, we can see jet skis, a lot of boats, some people camping. You can literally see their campfire and overshone boat, people just having a picnic and chilling. There is lots of vegetation, more boats, some kind of military or police boat probably, and then a container carrier. So obviously this is another part of the Keys and it is actually called Bahia Honda Key. We also get some look here at Key Lento from another angle. We already got a pretty good look at this place and the left side is not visible, but this place where you can see a building is actually the blimp again. We can see trucks and cars and this place looks pretty cool. In the background we can see Vice City, a huge cell tower that would be nice to climb and jump from. And just look at Vice City again. It's pretty big. We also see some kind of factory there, lots of bridges, so it is a pretty long and nice drive towards Vice City from the Keys area. And by the way, this is not all the Keys because there is more on the left side that is not visible. Then right here we can see some kind of souvenir store and lots of tourists. You can literally see tourist buses, an iguana, a dog, a guy on a bike, people taking selfies, two guys climbing a whale statue while one takes a picture of them, some kind of advertisement for a boat and a cheap body shop. This souvenir store probably is called One Whale, judging by the sign here, and it looks pretty interesting to be honest. I wonder how interactive these tourists will be, because I bet we'll be able to make their sightseeing much more interesting, if you know what I mean. Right here we can get a better look at people living in this area, and those are not tourists, they are at the Rusty Anchor Bar. Lots of people, a guy completely drunk on beer, two people kissing, one taking a piss, lots of people talking, some kind of crab festival going on, and actually this woman is not random. We will talk about her a bit later, but she is definitely not a random character, and if you remember the iguana from the beginning of the second trailer under our safe house, this is the one with the red Hawaiian shot and the crown. This woman is important to the story even though we do not know what role she will play yet, but still it looks pretty cool and I really want to visit that place. In this screenshot we get a better look at the underwater life. We see two divers, lots of fish, sea turtles, an eel, and this place looks pretty cool. As I said, underwater exploration will probably be on a whole other level with a spear gun. We'll be able to take down sharks, some missions are also possible, and expect buried treasures. Right here we get a look at some party going on in this area, which looks pretty cool, and it shows us that this area will be very interactive and people here like to party a lot. Lots of expensive small, big boats and yachts are visible. There are jet skis, houses in the back, and the bridge that goes from the quay where the blimp is located to Key Lento, where our safe house and everything will be. And you can see lots of different people with different body types on different boats with different engines. It shows us variety. There is a guy chilling on a pink inflatable flamingo. We can literally see a shark under that guy and he has no clue. But the guy holding a beer in his hand clearly spotted the threat. So sharks are confirmed. If you thought that was it, it's not. We have even more screenshots that take place in Leonida Keys. Here is a screenshot of Brian. And the guy in the background, he is not a random guy. I made a video about those mysterious characters as I already mentioned. This guy obviously works for Brian. As you can see, he's with them here, so he's not a random guy. This is actually the bar that Lucy and Jason were drinking beer at and sitting on the dock. And actually something that I noticed is that Brian is a big fan of Lavazza's beer, because Carl is drinking Patriot beer while Brian is drinking Lavazza's beer, so they each have their preference, which is also cool, and it shows that it's not just random. Then here he's telling one of his workers, probably the guy from the previous screenshot, who is sitting in the plane, to take this package of something you probably already know to some place. In the back we can see Brian's boat works at the marina, so it basically happens in Leonida Keys. Brian seems a little bit irritated, or at least he's clearly giving some instructions to the guy so he does everything right. And I also believe that Brian is a big fan of Hawaiian shorts, and in place like Miami, Florida, he probably should be because it's hot in there. Here again we can see Brian, Jason and Brian's wife Lori. What really interested me the most is the Hawaiian short Brian is wearing in this exact screenshot, because I believe it is a direct Easter egg to Vice City's character Ricardo Diaz, who wore a Hawaiian shirt just like this. Another important thing is that it happens in Leonida Keys, and we can see a gas station in the background. Brian is handing a gun to Jason, so he's obviously giving him some instructions again. Jason has a bigger beard here, which means we can grow beards as expected because we had that feature in Red Dead Redemption 2. Then there is the screenshot of Cowhampton, which also features Jason and two other unnamed characters I talked about. You can see the woman I mentioned with Iguana, she's not random again. You can see that same iguana under our safe house in another screenshot on that woman, and in this screenshot right here. That tells us she is not random and that she is somehow relevant to the story. I believe this takes place in the bar we talked about, which is the Rusty Anchor. At least that is my opinion. By the way, you can see that they are playing pool. Jason has a short saying Kilenter, which is actually the place he lives at. The guy talking to the woman is, I think, the guy from the screenshot with Brian in the background. I think it is the same guy. Another screenshot shows Cowhampton and Jason. As you probably understand, Jason and Cow are good friends. In the background we can see Brian's boat works and marina once again, so they are probably either going to a mission or coming back from one. They have duffel bags seemingly full of money because they look happy, and I do not think that they are heading to a mission. They have probably already finished it and got their reward from Brian. It is not clear, but it still looks interesting. Then here is a screenshot of Jason fishing with our buddy Cowhampton. Jason is obviously fishing and having a great time while Cow is looking at something. Maybe they are trying to stay inconspicuous and investigate something for a mission. In the background we can see Key Lento and the apartment building that is 5 stories high that we saw before. Once again there is the screenshot from the bar. I think it is again the bar called the Rusty Anchor. Do not be mad at me if I'm wrong. Still, we can see Jason and Cow having a beer. Jason drinks lager beer while Cow drinks Patriot beer. In the background we can see 2 angry guys, and Cow is alerting Jason that something is not right. So a fight is probably going to take place. We can see money in a clip and a cigarette in an ashtray on the table, and this whole screenshot looks very cinematic and cool. Finally, we need to take a look at the community made map. The map was created by Yanis and a number of people on Discord, and they deserve to be credited for this insanely hard and detailed work because it takes a lot of time, people and triangulation to create this map. By the way, it looks great too, so let's get into it. Obviously, Leonida Keys will be located at the bottom of the map, and this area, even though it looks pretty thin, is still pretty big and interesting. So let's begin from the left side, which is less known, and move toward the most known and detailed part of the map. Here, this is called Key West. It is not clear if it will be in the game, but it's speculated. It is also speculated that a naval air station will be in the Keys. Then this shot from trailer 1 takes place right here and overlooks Bahia Honda Key, where we can see the blimp, Fat Albert and everything. The bridges that go there are also visible and they are located right here. This area is also mapped out, but honestly there is not much there other than that blimp. Right here we can see the screenshot that came with trailer 2. It overlooks this way towards Vice City. You can see all these bridges and Key Lento on the right, where all the interesting stuff begins. Again, it focuses on Key Lento. It shows us more buildings and more places in Key Lento that we are going to talk about now. And obviously this screenshot basically gives us a clearer view. Again, it focuses on Key Lento. It shows us more buildings and more places in Key Lento that we are going to talk about now. We have reached the most interesting part of Leonida Leonida Keys, Lento, where everything takes place, where we will actually have our safe house, Brian's marina and boatworks, and more. Look at this, they mapped out almost every building in this area and they actually found real-life counterparts for many of those buildings, as you can see on the screen. I'm not gonna go over each and every one of them because it does not really give us anything. But here, the shot where Jason and Carl are fishing on the boat, as I said, is right here. In the screenshot we can see Lento in the background and that apartment building right here, which is pretty big, and that gives away where the shot takes place. Then again, right here, another screenshot where a boat party is going on. It is located right here because we can obviously see that bridge, some houses and the tower, the place where the tourists are going to the souvenir store. This takes place here. Then the moment from trailer 2 where Jason is buying a pack of Patriot beer and walking out of a convenience store takes place just next to that souvenir store. Over here we have Brian's hangar. As you can see, it is also mapped in some way. We can obviously see many more moments from trailer 2 and the screenshots we were talking about, including the shot where Brian is giving instructions to his worker. Then right here in the bar I was talking about the dock where Jason and Lucia were sitting, drinking and having a good time. We obviously have lots of screenshots from this place. By the way, you can see that they put both of these bars in the same location, so on this map, this place, the Rusty Anchor, is said to be this bar that we saw from different angles. Maybe they're right, maybe I'm wrong, maybe those are two separate bars. Then the most interesting place is the safe house. The safe house where the early part of the game will take place, the one Jason was repairing, and they actually found a real life counterpart that this house was based on, which you can see right here. Obviously it is located almost next to everything, next to the bar, next to Brian's boatworks and marina. Everything looks pretty dense on that map, and it is also pretty close to the bridge, so we can easily go to Vice City from there. It is also a pretty long drive from here to Vice City, and the last shot is from the beginning of trailer 2 to be more exact. It takes place right here and looks absolutely amazing overlooking this place. Finally, they actually located where that short video of Carl Hampton sitting on a boat and getting a package dropped from a plane takes place. I think they managed to figure it out from just this bridge that was seen at the end, which takes place right here. And this is basically everything you need to know about Leonida Keys and how it looks. Once again, thanks to the mapping community, it looks absolutely amazing. They have done a lot of work, which is insane. This place is actually huge, even though it doesn't look that big at first glance, but it is. I hope you enjoyed watching this video and it opened your eyes to something you might not have noticed before. Soon I will make another breakdown like this, but about Vice City, and it will be the last in this series. I would really appreciate it if you subscribe to my channel and like the video, because it would help me reach my goal of 1000 subscribers before GTA 6 releases. Thank you a lot, and I'll see you in the next one.